What's up, guys? Normally I give you guys a slap. I'm like, let's get on with this. But today's not a slapping video. Today we're breathing. Because I wouldn't say I'm upset with this. I'm frustrated. As a content creator, as a consumer, as everything. I'm on the Xbox brand, and this definitely appeals to the Xbox community, to all the people that would play this game on Xbox. First off, this isn't scripted. I don't have even really bulletin points for this particular video, but we're gonna go off raw emotion. It's gonna be my rant video. Uh, got a poster here. It's gonna replace one of these posters. Put in the comment section if you believe what poster that is going to be. I'm very curious if you guys guess it. Now let's talk about this game, Lords of the Fallen. For those of you that have been following me for a while, I'm a huge fan of these Souls-like type of games. And I try to, help cover these type of games whenever I can. I will admit that I did play behind the door. I don't even know what you would call it. Like it's some type of, playing of this game. I played it I played at PAX West, and it was about an hour and a half. Played it for about an hour because we had other appointments, and I really enjoy what I play of the game. So reached out, told them we would like Xbox codes for the podcast, so we talk about the podcast whenever you get a chance. And I didn't really think too much of it; just went in the back of my mind. Now, we never heard back from them. Now, normally I would really, hit them back up, because I understand when it comes to PR, these people are worked to the bone and they just forget. But at the time, there was just so much stuff coming out, guys. We just got from Assassin's Creed Mirage to Starfield to Seas of Stars to Forza Motorsports. Now we got, Mario Wonders coming out here soon, Mario RPG, Lords of the Fallen, Lies of P. There's just so much content. It is absurd to get through it all. And I'm playing Persona 5 Royale in the middle of all of this. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it rock. This is going to be one of those games we're going to cover after the game comes out, and that'll be fine. We'll cover it after the game comes out. So I didn't really push on it too much more than that. But then I start seeing some of my personal friends that cover these type of games. They're saying, stuff in the Discord seems fishy, that their answers aren't being completely, their questions aren't being completely answered. And it just seems like they're being very transparent to a degree, but there's something being lost in the communication. And I'm not in these Discords. I can only go off of the information that I've been given. So there's that. Then we get into this thing when it comes to Lords of the Fallen that just seems very weird to me. Let me pop over here. Now, remember how I said I asked for Xbox codes for the Lords so we can talk about this on the podcast, and they never got back to me? Well, there's probably a reason for that. I don't know, but I can only go off the information given and what makes sense to me. So to me, let's read this. Lords of the Fallen, they gave us an update today. They said, we would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the content creators who have worked with us to enable the rapid development of patches, updates, and performance improvements ahead of tomorrow's existing launch of Lords of the Fallen. As such, PC and PlayStation 5 players will be able to enjoy the game as intended. The Xbox version is currently being updated, bringing it to parity with the other platforms. And the patch will release over the next coming days. All right, so let's talk about that. Does that mean that they knew they were sending out the Xbox version that was not, in parity with the PS5 version and the PC version, which I've been told the PlayStation 5 version has really, really bad frame rate issues. And I would assume there's going to be issues a little bit on the PC version. It just seems like this game in general is just not optimized very well. So it would, it's weird that there's no Xbox there. Now let's look at something else. I had someone send me this. There's a website that's called Lore Kit. Now, pretty much what they do is they're like terminal. They'll tell you if there is a particular game you want and they're working with the developers. They will put you in contact and they will get you a code for you to cover on your channel. Now, they're the company that is that the developers and publishers of Lords of the Fallen is using. So here is on the website when you click Lords of the Fallen. Now they sent I was sent a screenshot, so as you could see, now if you notice on there, Steam and PlayStation 5. That's all that's there. But it's on Xbox, so why can't you request a code from there? Just doesn't sit right with me. For example, like I said, I asked for an Xbox code, and keep in mind, this company's been very good to me. We asked for some questions for the lordsofgaming.net. They got back to us. They were very open and transparent, but it did seem like after I asked for Xbox codes, they just, they never got back to me. And it's like I said, I didn't see too much into it because at the time there was so much stuff going on. I didn't even know if I would have time to like realistically cover the game. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Addict, why are you bringing this up? First off, I don't like the fact that they're isolating a console that they didn't really seem like they wanted people to play. Now, the PlayStation 5 is having frame rate issues, but you couldn't even request a code for the Xbox version. And when people such as myself of Iron Lords Podcast, we asked for Xbox codes, they didn't respond to us as well. So it seemed like they were trying to avoid giving that Xbox code to anyone. Now, I don't know if people are playing this on Xbox for review purposes. And to be frank, I don't care if they are at this point. I haven't seen no one. For the most part, everyone I've seen is either playing on PlayStation or PC. Now, it could be some marketing thing going on between PlayStation and the company with Lords of the Fallen. I don't know, but I doubt it. Most of the time, even if there's marketing stuff going on, there's still versions of that. You can still ask for it in the Xbox version. Now, clearly, we are just content creators, podcasters, streamers that's, really taking a liking to this game, and we're not owed nothing. And I've been very transparent with that. But one thing that really irritates me the most is just how sometimes these companies treat content creators. I myself didn't really care because at the time I was doing a lot of other stuff. But I have friends that were really bothered by this. It's like, look, I've been working with them. I've been posting content on them. But when it comes to the actual game, they're just being very, very weird with communication. Now, the reason for that is it did look like they were targeting streamers because for the most part, streamers might bring up bugs in games or there might be some small issues, but there's a difference between streaming a game that is going to have some hiccups and actually sitting down and making content about that game. You could actually do a lot more in terms of, highlighting some of the bad issues. I don't know if that's the case. I don't. I'm just telling you what I see as the outside looking in. The point of this video is to say this isn't cool. The Lords of the Fallen developers, publishers, outside of all the shady stuff they did with some of the content creators, which I didn't like, but at the end of the day, that's their job as PR, is to make their game look as best as possibly can. I don't agree with some of the practices used in that, but I agree that that's their job. I just don't like the fact that they did this to the Xbox community. It's like, if this game wasn't ready to launch, you should have just delayed it a month. Give all of the forums a little bit more time. You could have actually sent review codes out earlier so those people could have told you these issues from the start and you could have fixed them. But instead, it does look like you, in a way, showed the best form of this game that you possibly could show while trying to hide all the bad parts of that about the game. PR, content creators, media, I feel like there needs to be a huge overhaul how things work. I feel like, I do agree to a point that people are in the right to feel like content creators, media, and everyone is just going to say what they can to make sure that these publishers and developers don't blacklist you. And to a point when you see stuff like this, how do you not blame them from having that kind of mindset? For the most part, my community trusts me, and they know that when it comes to stuff like this, I'm gonna point it out. I point it out at every stop. And the reason I do that is because I truly believe that we're not going to fix this issue in the industry where we're seeing these posts 24/7 about games not working or game breaking bugs or bad performance or the Xbox Series S not being functioned to the way it correctly should be. And all because they want these games out at the right time of the year to capitalize on investment as much as they possibly can. They don't care about whether or not the game functions or not, whether or not it just, the part that irritates me is that it's so hard to combat this, because unless you get the majority of the industry in terms of media, in terms of, content creators, reviewers, streamers, unless you get the majority of us to come together and be like, look, these are shady practices, we're not covering your game until this is handled, it's never going to get fixed. But the problem is the biggest outlets in the world and the biggest, content creators, the biggest streamers, they're getting access to this early on. They're not really getting through any of this issue. Now, there's obviously some that will still call it out, but a lot of them really don't. They might say it a little bit here, but it's just like, why would they rock the boat when they're not affected by the boat? But I feel like the way that this practice is needs to be addressed. We're getting too many games that's broken on launch. We're getting too many weird rollouts of coverage that making it look a little bit like they're deceiving the audience. There's too much of that going around. Now, I'm not blaming big media outlets or blaming big content creators or anything like that, because I know realistically they're getting what they need. Why should they care about everyone else? And it's not really an issue with everyone else. It's an issue with when all these people don't come out with how shady this practice is and they accept these codes. Why would anything ever change? That's just my honest opinion. It's like I said, raw emotion. It's a rant. It's just how the industry in general. I don't like the fact that the same Xbox user paying for Lords of the Fallen is getting a more broken version than the PlayStation 5 and PC version. And I know everyone will come in the comment section below. They're going to either call me entitled because clearly they think that I wanted review codes, or they're going to say that, this is an issue with Xbox, it's not anyone else. There's going to be so many things that people say in the comment section below, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is we did request Xbox codes. They didn't give us Xbox codes. The point of the video is even on their own website partnerships that other people, they're not offering Xbox codes. To me, that's shady practices that should not be co-signed by anyone in the industry. But I don't see no one talking about it. And that's the point of the video. Just the whole process of how PR works with content creators, streamers, and media needs to change. You guys have a good day. Peace.